Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Lock It In Podcast, episode 3. I'm joined by my co-hosts Zion Zenith and CJ Talk Sports. Jane, the champ, will be here soon. But what's going on, guys?
¿Cómo estás? Hola, amigos. Welcome to episode 3 on we're in my channel in my room. So I feel like, you know what? I'm going casual today. Figure I chat with you boys on this awesome evening. Let's keep going.
Listen, Yeti, I want to appreciate you guys watching on all 3 channels. We're live on Logan's, live on CJ's, and live on mine as well. What's up, Namir? Thank you for joining us tonight, and let's get it popping.
Yes, sir. CJ, you there?
Yeah, easy.
I'll take that as a no. So we'll just get to this, and then we'll get to CJ's breakdown. All right, James Bradberry signs with the Philadelphia Eagles. 1 year, $10 million contract. It's a good signing for them. I'm not too worried about it, if I'm being honest. He's a bum.
No. Hey, don't be that Giant fan that all of a sudden doesn't like Bradberry. You gotta think of it as a good pickup. What's up, Raphael?
I was hating on him since week 4, though.
I know you was. I know you was disappointed with him last season. I know you valued him not being a $10 million quarterback, a cornerback. Sorry. I just think that as a fan of football, he is still a top 20 cornerback, a top 15. Some might put him even in the top 10. I think it's a good pickup for the Eagles. And I like to say this, like the Eagles had a phenomenal offseason and they look like the team to beat on paper. But it is on paper, and we'll see what happens when we go into the season because the Giants was the team to beat on paper last season, and we all seen what happened. So that being said, I'm not going to sit up here and hate on Bradberry. I'm going to say good pickup on our division opponents, and we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, they still got Slay on the roster, so he's going to put in the work. I don't know if Bradberry is going to consider himself and make himself the number 1 cornerback on that team because, Slay is kind of on the downward end of his career. Bradberry is still kind of young and still can play at a high level. So I'm not going to hope that he plays at a high level. I'm just going to say shout out to the Eagles for picking him up, and I'm wishing him nothing but the best when he's not playing us. And obviously, it's a really great pickup. And what's up, Tudo? Thank you so much for joining tonight. We're just talking Giants football, talking the playoffs, and he says, salute, fellas. You putting it back up, I was going to read it. He said, salute, fellas. Drop by the office to pay our respects for all Giants fans around the world. Flip and kick on the boys, the losers out of the dirt. Get it. CJ, do you have any thoughts on James Bradberry?
I'm not surprised. I predicted this a good mile away. When it was rumored that we were just gonna cut our losses and move on from home. Listen, I love Bradberry. I think he was an excellent Giant in the 2 years that he was here. Off the field, he was a leader. He was a captain. He really held the secondary down pat when we first signed him, especially coming off the Baker nonsense. Bradberry was the glue guy. I mean, I know a lot of people wanted to give credit to Logan Ryan, Jabril, eventually Xavier McKinney, but Bradberry was the number 1 guy. He was our most consistent and reliable defensive back, and he was amazing his first year.
Yeah,
I mean, we started it out as being a heavy man coverage on type of team, and he shut down most of the best receivers in football. Once the pass rush was extremely limited, okay, we're going to play a bend but no break type of defense, and we switched up to a zone. Bradberry, when he was young, was just as effective in zone coverage as he is in man coverage, if not better in zone coverage. So, yeah. Bradberry, first year, absolutely tremendous. Second year, okay, we're gonna add more playmakers on the front four. We're gonna be we should be able to create more pressure up front. So we're gonna blitz a ton, and we're gonna play more a man-to-man type of scheme. You would figure with the addition of Adoree Jackson, McKinney in his second year, bringing back Logan and already have Jabril and Tell, that we now have the pieces to run Patrick Graham's heavy blitz type of scheme, and it did not work. Not in the slightest. Bradbury does not have, or did not have, the catch-up speed. He did not have the quickness to play a heavy man type of scheme, and it backfired big time. Especially against Washington and Atlanta. The man regularly got cooked by speedy type of receivers, whether it was Terry McLaurin who gave me nightmares, or freaking Calvin Ridley. Like, dude, these are B+ level receivers, and you're getting cooked. So, listen, again, I love Bradbury. I wish him nothing but the best, except us, obviously. And it was just time to move on. If he could, Patrick Graham, even at his best in Miami, was not Wink Martindale as far as a man-to-man type of scheme. Now you're going to ask Bradbury, who's a much older player, who never really relied on catch-up speed, to now play this type of man coverage scheme? Absolutely not. Unless you're going to try him out at safety. Like, no. Like, see what you can get from him. And if you can't, just move on. And if you can't, just move on. There's no reason for him to stick around in a scheme where he doesn't fit, he makes too much money, and we need to sign our draft picks.
And also, I want to touch on that. You say he makes too much money, and a lot of Giants fans were saying, well, what I heard on Twitter and just throughout the community was some Giants fans were saying that, we could have refinanced this contract. Well, you got to think of it this way, guys. This guy made $4 million. $4 million. His first seasons in the league. That guy really had played on the board game. What's up, Taj? Thank you so much for joining tonight. And if you think about it, as a player that only made $4 million in his first 4 seasons in the NFL, wouldn't you want to go out there and get your bag? And that's what he did. We couldn't pay him. We needed to sign our free agents that we bought in. Not free agents, sorry. We needed to sign our draft picks. We needed to get rid of him so we can clear up some cap. And negotiating this contract was out of the question. And I know you wanted to for a little bit, but we couldn't afford him. So the fact that he left, and it sucks that he signed with our division rivals. But at the end of the day, it's still I'm not trying to diss on Bradbury because he is still a good player in this league, but I'd rather make sure that our finances is right going forward than have to deal with him and then signing our guys as well.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, we've already redid his contract twice.
Mm-hmm.
We redid it last year to free up cap space, and we redid it the year prior, the year after we signed him. So you really think with a new regime that he's going to be willing to take less again, to take another pay cut? No, he's like, I want my money. Either trade me or move on from me. Like, at the end of the day, again, even though what I like to keep Bradbury
I would have liked it too.
For his experience and just for his leadership, sure. But again, he's not a good scheme fit. He's not going to take a pay cut. And in all honesty, he probably wants to win. Like, he's probably looking at the situation like, listen, I'm not going to win. Listen, I see the writing on the wall.
I'm going to stop you right there, CJ, because I'm not saying you're wrong there. I think, yes, he wants to win, but I think it was more money than anything, Well,
on that too. I would say that's the...
And I know Rafael wanted to touch on the subject too, so you can go right after CJ's done. Continue, CJ.
And listen, at the end of the day, I get it. Business is business, but again, the writing was all over the wall once Shane Dable and Wink got here.
Yeah, that's true.
that
But see,
Bradbury was
I
not
think Bradbury
benefit.
could have worked in Rink's system. I think it came down to the money. Like, yes,
Again,
I get your point. I understand where you're coming from. I'm not trying to play devil's advocate here. But I think he could have made it work. It was just a cap situation, you know? Because I honestly think if he had the cap room, we would have kept him.
Personally, I don't think I think Bradbury lost this out. I don't think he could be a full-time cover 2-man corner. I just do not believe that.
That's fair enough. Raphael and Taj, did you guys have to want to weigh in on the subject?
Yes, yes. First of all, how's everything going? What up, CJ, Sion, my big brother, and of course, Logan.
I
It's
just want
nice
to know, is
see.
that an Angels hat? What hat is that?
It's a Yankees hat. It's a
It
baseball
is a
hat,
Yankees
but
hat. Nice.
yes, nice. But speaking about the issue, the topic about James Bradbury. Here's a fun fact: he was the
What's up,
player
guys?
with most pass breakups over the past 5 seasons. James Bradbury is one of the 3 players at least 70 pass breakouts in the past 5 seasons. The other one it was the Saints, Marshall Baltimore, and Darius Slay, his new teammate for the Eagles. But for me, the Eagles they need another start after Steven Nelson signed with the Houston Texans this offseason. Because after they released Bradbury for the Giants, they're not able to find a trade partner for the veteran quarterbacks. So they probably moved for the Giants where it's more about the money than the player. So he was said to make 13 million that season. It will count to
Facts,
21
Raphael.
million.
If
Uh-huh.
Logan drops the link in a bit, yeah, Logan dropped the link and then the American call in.
Mm-hmm.
Logan's host tonight, guys, and we're just doing it on all 3 channels. So Logan has the access to drop the link, and he will in a bit. What's up, Nas? Continue, Ralph. Sorry about that.
Yes, I just want to continue, but don't worry about that. But he was one of those 5 players on the current Giants roster to make the Pro Bowl in their careers. He was the top cornerback last season, and he made the Pro Bowl on his first year. So he had a career with 4 interceptions and recorded a pair of fumbles the last season. But he was spent 4 years with the Carolina Panthers, had 15 interceptions and 82 passes defended over the 6 NFL seasons. So it might be a good idea to have James Bradbury for the Eagles. Yes, it's right, because right now for me, James Bradbury had the perfect choice for the Eagles right here. Because for me, Howie is the man. Because right now it just keep it going to the hard work, and of course last season they went to the
Did you just
playoff.
say Howie is the man? We don't give the general manager props on this show. I'm just joking. Continue.
Because remember after the draft, after the NFL draft, Howie
Yeah,
just
I mean,
decided,
like,
well,
I feel your point, and I'll let you continue here. But yeah, they had an amazing draft. They had a really great offseason. I mean, like, they went out and they drafted a guy that fell because of injury in Dean. So for them to grab him, that's a steal, you know. And I'll let you continue. I don't want to cut you off. I know I'm bad, and I always cut people off. So continue, please.
okay, I'll continue because, well, after the NFL draft, Howie demonstrated that everybody could happen. So he made good choices about the offseason and the draft right here. So Howie was thinking, okay, so this player, I like it because he's very good, he's very able. And right now, the last season, the Eagles went to the playoffs, but they just lost against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So it might be that year not only going to be a lot of shocking moments. So they call me crazy, but I can see New York Giants versus Philadelphia Eagles for the conference championship, because after the NFL draft between Kevin Thibodeau and of course Evan Neal, it might happen. It might happen this season right here. It might happen. So they could call me crazy, but it might happen.
Well, I am going to call you crazy because I think that this is a foundation year, and I think any team in this conference has a chance to compete with the Eagles for the division is the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys are going under the radar, and I hate giving props to division teams, but Dallas Cowboys didn't change that much things on their roster. And if you think about it, they're still the team to beat. Yeah, the Eagles won it last season, but Dallas is still the team to beat. Now, if we stay healthy, that's the thing about y'all. If the Giants stay healthy, we have a schedule that maybe we can clinch the playoffs. But right now, bro, last year I had us going 12-5, and it was extremely let down. So this year I have us winning 7 to 8 games. if there's a chance that we all stay healthy and things work out better than we thought it was, I wouldn't be surprised. Me and Logan was having this conversation not too long ago. We wouldn't be surprised if things went right. But I think what a lot of fans of Giants fans need to dampen their expectations because yes, our defensive line on paper looks legit, but the rest of our defense, we have a lot of questions there. All right, we have a lot of questions. We don't have a secondary that can totally just lock it down. Not yet. Will we get there? Maybe. But right now, there's more questions than answers on the defensive side of the ball. Now, I believe in Rick Mortendale. I think Rick Mortendale I'm super excited, and he's the person that I'm the most excited about. Me and Logan was talking about this the other day, too. When Rick Mortendale and the defense is on the field, that's his team. You know, he can be running it. You know, when Wade Phillips was the defensive coordinator of the Rams, and we seen Sean McVay sitting down on the sideline with the tablet, 1-2 plays. I think that is in the 10 is going to happen with this team. As when Rick Mortendale is on the field, you're going to have Brian Dable, Mike Kaffer, and Daniel Jones, whoever the quarterback. I don't know why I'm not remembering the quarterback coach's name, but we're going to have him on the tablet with Daniel Jones. And another thing, too, last year it looks like, and I'm kind of jumping off topic here, so I'm sorry about that, Logan, but last year it kind of looked like the game plan and what they try to execute on offense, Daniel Jones didn't really agree with it. Logan brought up he's seen Daniel Jones roll his eyes a couple of play calls, and I've seen it too. So the fact of the matter is that I think Brian Dable and Daniel Jones is working it out where Daniel Jones is going to have free reign of this offense and be able to execute what he needs to execute without being jeopardized with the bad play calling. I'm not playing being Garrett. I'm not playing Judge, but we can all agree. Our offense sucked last year, right? We knew what they was doing before they even did it. And for me, someone that's not really big on understanding schemes, I'll be honest, I'm not really the biggest understanding schemes. For me to know what you guys are wanting is a problem because if I know it, that means the opposing defense knows it. And I think we're going to see a lot of confusion, but I'm still dampening expectations for this season because we don't have our identity yet, and we're going to figure out our identity going on in the season. So though I like your comment about fighting for the division championships, I just think we're a year off right now. I want you to be right. Yes, I want to sign that. I want to lock it in. But at the end of the day, it's just we don't know who we are right now at the moment.
Yeah. And
of course.
To transition to the NBA playoffs, CJ, you said you wanted to do this. Let's get it.
Before we do this, let's just ask Taj and Nas if they have any topics.
Yes.
Any comments?
Nas is using the bathroom, but Taj, do you have any thoughts on the James Bradbury?
No, not much. I mean, I guess it was a solid move for them. There's nothing much. I mean, good luck.
I like it. Let's get it.
Yes.
Good luck playing against Kadarius Toney.
Hey. CJ's Boston's breakdown. He get his own little question. What an asshole.
You get your own little question later. Wait a minute.
I mean, okay, first of all, I want to give a quick breakdown on the series as a whole. So, going into game one, after a grueling 7-game series, an epic 7-game battle against Milwaukee, I was in no way, shape, or form expecting the Celtics to just come out and light up the Heat, especially without Smart and Al Horford being out for that
Talking
game.
about game one. Yep.
I'm like, okay, listen. Would it be nice to steal game one from them? Sure. But realistically speaking, it's not going to happen with the Heat basically almost having essentially a full week to prepare for us. So going into game one, I'm like, I'm hoping I can be surprised, but who knows? And then
6 says Tudo.
And then the first half happens. I'm like, wait a minute. The Celtics are up 8. Like, how? What? Now, I said coming into this series.
Well,
to me,
go ahead and drop the link. I know Lemire wanted to call in.
To me coming into this series was going to be about two things. Number one is how how was Boston? How was the Celtics game plan gonna differ from when we matched up against Brooklyn in round 1 and Milwaukee in the second series? Because the way that I broke down this conference finals matchup was two ways. Number one, as much as I love the Heat's culture and as much as I love their defensive versatility, and they are probably the most battle-tested team, not just in the East, but in the NBA. This core has been together for a while now. They've already gone to not just a conference finals, but an NBA finals. And while the Celtics are just as battle-tested as they are, the Heat having home court advantage and Jimmy Butler, who's a borderline superstar come the playoffs, this is not going to be an easy fit. And this is going to be by far the best defensive team that we face all year. Easily. Like, even if we do manage to advance to the NBA finals, this Heat's defense is no
Let me stop you right there.
Oh, you a Celtics fan,
The winner.
CJ?
He's a Celtics fan and a Knicks fan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you right there and I'll let you continue. But the winner of the finals will come out of the East. It will, because I'm not discounting. I'm not forgetting about how good John Moran and the Grizzlies are doing. I'm not forgetting about Golden State.
They're
Out of the playoffs.
Yeah, ow.
Oh, Luka, yeah. Why did I say Grizzly? As much as I love Luka, I'm not discounting Luka and the Mavericks, and I'm not discounting the Splash Brothers and Poole. But I honestly feel that the winner will come out of the East, and I'll let you continue. Like the winner of everything. Whoever wins this series is my pick for the division, for the finals champion. And as much as I hate saying that, whoever wins after yesterday's game with the defensive player of the year back in it and with Al Horford back in it, yeah, that kind of scares me. As much as I want to ride with Miami because that's my team, I'm going to ride with Miami till the bitter end. You know, I'm not as comfortable as I am now with how, I mean, like, look what you guys did yesterday, CJ.
Damn,
Well, well, again, I think. Excuse me. Going back to how I felt coming into this series. My overall thoughts as far as how do we match up against Miami is essentially on what kind of blueprint do we want to run? Do we want to put all our focus on stopping Jimmy Butler, throw a variety of different bodies on him, and just allow Miami's others to beat us? Or do we take the Giannis approach where our main goal is to keep everyone else at bay and we will live with whatever Jimmy Butler does? And I
think that's Namir. What's up, Namir?
What's up, Taj? And
what's up, Namir?
I basically concluded is that with Smart and Horford if they're going to be out for a good chunk of time, we have no shot at winning this series.
Nah, not if they're not playing, bro.
And so going into game one, Tatum and Brown are playing. Tatum and Brown are playing excellent. We know the Celtics are gassed. We know they're completely out of energy at this point. Essentially, they tried to knock Miami out.
You seen that, guys? It's a catfish. That wasn't me. I'm just joking. Logan's controlling everything. That's why.
Essentially, we tried to knock out Miami in the first half. You go up 13. You go up 12, and the Heat closed the gap to 8. I'm thinking, okay, we should be fine. And then they rip off a 22-2 run and outscored us by 25 in the third quarter. I'm like, well, regardless what happened in the fourth quarter, this game was lost right here and there. However, it's one game. You're getting Smart in it. You're getting at least Marcus Smart and hopefully Al Horford back.
I love that.
And that's it. And essentially is that basically what I concluded leading up to game 7. whoever wins this series between Boston and Milwaukee should be favored to win the East. Because as much as I respect Miami, at the end of the day, I said this Saturday, y'all just do not have the firepower to go. You guys just simply don't have the firepower to match up against us.
I agree to disagree on that. I'll let you continue because it is your breakdown.
Outside of Jimmy Butler, who worst case scenario is gonna keep Tatum at a push. Like, I think Butler and Tatum are basically going to cancel each other out, and it's essentially whose others are going to outplay us.
That's a good, I agree. I totally agree.
As great as Jimmy Butler was 2 years ago when we met you guys in the bubble, Bam was the X factor. He was the guy that we had no answer for. Well, now
and about that. I don't want to get in sidetracked about that. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick here. Like, I'm a Miami Heat fan, but it was destiny that the Lakers wanted that year. RIP Kobe. It was destiny. Mm-hmm. Game would have been different if Bam was in it, but Lakers would have still won it. So the fact that you guys outscored us by what I believe it was like 120 something, 127 to like 102 or something like that in game 2. The one thing I want to say is I'm happy that Bam's playing, but Robertson and Tyler Hero, the two guys that is the firepower that can produce, missed every single free throw they shot. Everything. So if Tyler Hero was making his threes and Robertson was making his threes, then maybe, just maybe, could we have taken game 2? We would have probably still, because you guys was on playing on a different level, and Marcus Smart, the defensive player of the year, was back in the game, and he wasn't gonna let us abuse. He wasn't gonna let Miami abuse Boston like that third quarter.
Well,
I need to see Tyler Hero make buckets. If Tyler Hero is sitting here and comparing himself to some damn near gonna be GOATs one day in the league, you need to be able to make your threes. Don't sit up here and compare yourself to a Trae Young and a Luka if you're only gonna score 11 points, Tyler. And Robertson, where have you been? We need you. As much as Robertson is secondary player, Robertson needs to hit his buckets. Our bench needs to perform because Butler can't do it by himself. And I believe Kyle Lowry is gonna be out of most of this playoffs. So that being said, Butler and Bam can't do it alone.
Well, you see, here's the things are, and I will agree with you that Butler needs more help. But see, this is where I can't even fault you guys for. I can't even fault. Well, for starters, Duncan Robertson is just not getting any minutes. Like, I don't know why he's here. I don't know why is he a glorified bench warmer where he's probably your best 3-point shooter. But going off on Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, the thing that I like most about the Celtics team going into the playoffs was that they could play any variety of style. You need us to play. If we need to play big, okay, we'll play Horford and Robert Williams together. If we need to play small, we'll have Horford and Grant Williams together, or have Grant Williams and Tatum as our two forwards. This Celtics team has, other than maybe Pritchard, this Celtics defense has no liabilities.
You guys have a lot.
Like, Jaylen Brown is our worst defender in our starting lineup, and he's an elite two-way player in his own right. So what you guys need more, it's not so much scoring. Other than
defense.
Butler, who's your other consistent playmaker? Because that's it.
We don't. It's like one day Max might go off, another day.
The reason why we were able,
another day Robertson might go off.
Hold on a second, Zion. Those guys need plays run for them. Yes. Those guys need players that can get them the ball. See, the reason why we were able to shut down Milwaukee from getting any open threes is because other than Drew Holiday, and occasionally Chris Middleton, and occasionally Giannis. Where is the playmaking department going to come from Milwaukee?
Let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this. I'm not
Go ahead.
discounting your rise. I mean, like we played two games with Embiid not on the floor. Okay, so I'm not discounting your rise here. Would it be a different series if Middleton was to play?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For
Would
sure.
you guys?
Because-
But like I didn't want to give you guys the respect because I said KD and Irie was washed. They should have looked better. They didn't. They didn't give you guys respect. Then you guys go out there and shut down Milwaukee. Well, not really shut them down, but beat Milwaukee. And then still I'm like not giving the respect because it's like, okay, where's Middleton? After yesterday's game, as a Miami Heat fan, I was riding high the whole playoffs. I was happy. I wasn't even stressed. After yesterday's game, I'm like, okay, this kind of makes me nervous. And I'm not doubting the Heat, but you're making a lot of valid points here that makes me kind of nervous because your guys' roster, and as an NBA fan, bro, it'd be stupid of me to say you guys don't have a stacked fucking roster because your guys' roster is stacked both on the offensive end and the defensive end.
Yeah, and listen, did I expect Boston to come out with a fire in their ass? Absolutely. Like
Yeah.
you did not get run off the floor at the third quarter like that and not expect to have some type of answer.
But
Now,
yeah,
did I
that's true.
expect us to not miss from three? No.
Well,
But what I will say that this series is gonna come down to, if you guys are gonna depend on 36-year-old Kyle Lowry to
yeah.
be your answer, you've already lost the
It's
series.
not, and
It's not.
I'm not trying to cut you off here, but I'll let Taj go in a bit. I'm sorry, Taj, to cut you off too, but like,
No, you can go.
bro, like, you guys came down to South Beach and did that.
And yeah. 'Cause
That
I mean,
makes me
again,
that makes me mad. That makes me mad. Like, you don't come down to South Beach and embarrass the Heat like that.
I said,
You know?
to me, and at the end of the day, and the reason why I've been as confident in this team since the freaking All-Star break is that because Tatum, Brown, Horford, Smart, because these guys have been knocking at the door at the NBA Finals for like the last 5 years or so. I said it after game 6 that Jason, the difference between this Celtics team and the Celtics teams of the past is because previously we weren't led by a bona fide superstar at that point until now. After Jason Tatum walked into Milwaukee, Middleton or no Middleton, and
Gave him
met Giannis
yeah.
and nearly outduel Giannis at the peak of his powers. I'm like, if we win this series,
Killed Giannis at the peak of his powers.
if
That's
we
like
win
animation. I love it.
after going toe to toe with the best player on the planet, the defending NBA champions, and a championship-hungry Milwaukee team that was looking to repeat, and Tatum does that. Oh, he's not gonna bat an eye at whoever we face,
But
whether it's
I
Philly
want to let
or
you boys
Miami.
weigh in on this. I want to let Raphael and Taj weigh in on this too, and Namir and Nas. But that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for Butler to have that energy of he's forgetting about. He's not in any commercial like Golden State is and like Luka is and like how
He has that one.
You know, he's that guy like, oh, you guys not gonna talk about me? Let me prove something for you. And let's see that continue because he needs help. Obviously, Butler's not gonna score 41 points every single game. Obviously, Bam, he can't. He's a premier center, but at the end of the day,
Not if Grant Williams
we need our
takes much money.
shooters. We need our shooters to make their fucking shots. Sorry for swearing, because if they don't fucking make their shots, we're not gonna go anywhere against Boston.
You guys desperately need Tyler. You guys desperately need Tyler Hero to be more than just Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah, we
Because
need him to
he
be
has
what he
gotta-
says he could be. This guy is out here comparing himself to some of these greats, and I need you to be that, bro.
Tyler Hero needs to take that big step the same way Marcus did. Well, I always knew Marcus Smart is a great defender, great defensive player, great high basketball IQ, can hit big shots. He needs to, but in order for him to be the point guard that he is now, he's got to improve. He's got to improve his play. He's got to improve his playmaking, and he's got to be able to see the floor like the way a classic point guard does, and he has. In order for Tyler Hero to take that next step, he can't just be a scorer. He can't just be a shooter.
That's exactly what he is right now, bro.
He has to take it upon himself to be a true playmaker.
Yep.
It makes no sense at all for old Kyle Lowry and Jimmy Butler to be your only facilitators. And Bam needs to show up, essentially.
Yeah, I'm sick of that. I disagree because Aiton takes off.
You can't be having 36-year-old Al Horford and 6'5" Grant Williams take your lunch money.
Absolutely, bro. I get mad so much of Aiton because Aiton's such a premier center, but he takes plays off. He just stands there sometimes, and I'm not gonna. I was at work when I was watching the game, so I really didn't sit down and analyze or really watch the game. But yeah, exactly what you said, bro. Bam, what are you doing?
Yeah, and do any of you other guys want to chime in on this topic?
Tell me about it. Well,
I'll be right back. Taj.
Well, I guess I'm going to speak about the NBA Conference Finals because I just remember that, well, Boston Celtics versus Miami Heat, well, it kind of rings the bell because I remember because 10 years ago, it was Boston Celtics versus Miami Heat because I just remember the big three of Boston Celtics, which is Reggie Rondo, also Garrett, the big ticket, and of course, the one and only, which is very important, the player, which is Kevin Garnett, and of course, Brandon Bass. But also the Miami Heat, they got the big three, which is LeBron James, also Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. But I think that, well, I just remember about the series going on because at first, because Miami leads series and then goes to 2. But then there was Boston Celtics, so you had to go to series tie, and Boston lead the series. It's called, oh, wow, this is going to be...
Dante's in the house. I just called you Nas, Dante. I'm like, Dante. I was like, Nas. I was very excited to see you, and I'm like, messed up your name. Sorry for interrupting, Nas. Sorry for interrupting, Raphael. I do it a lot. Raphael. You're going to get used to me interrupting you, so continue.
Yes, I continue because I would just remember that it was 2012 between Miami Heat versus Boston Celtics. At first, sir. Miami Heat just lead the series 2-0. Then they just tie it between Boston Celtics. Then Boston lead the series 3-2. But then it was like, oh, that was the time to Miami Heat to win the series right here. But it was just like a battle between the big three, which is Reggie Rondo, also Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett. But also it was against the big three of Miami Heat, which is LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and of course, Chris Bosh.
Yes, sir.
And of course, that was very interesting right here. So now the times are changing, and I think it's gonna be like a mild surprise right here. But
are you saying you got a big three in Boston with Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and Smart?
Yes, of course, about that. But I think the biggest surprise right here because it's very difficult, and of course, it's gonna be the shocking moment for me about it. So the NBA Conference Finals is between Dallas, Golden State, and of course Boston and Miami. But I think that, well, Miami Heat is going to take the surprise. But because remember that time that, well, it was 2012, the NBA Conference Finals between about Miami versus Boston, and Boston just lost it. But if Boston wins, that'll be like upset. But if
Nah,
Miami
dude,
Heat,
like I don't think it'll be an upset because yes, the Miami's. I'm not trying to interrupt you here, but Miami is the number 1 seed, bro. But Boston's the favorite to win it.
oh,
Boston
okay.
is the favorite. And real fast before you go, thank you for that. I wanna pick a bone with Coach Dante down there. I was watching his live stream the other day because I wasn't able to watch the game, and he was saying he don't like when Butler finesses to get that to free throw line. I absolutely love it, bro. Get to the free throw line as much as you can. I'm just joking, Dante. But you guys hated that, huh?
Hey man, I just thought, man, like I say, you do what you do to score, man. Get to the free throw line and draw contact, man. The way the league is right now, how the way they really are stopping when you're running into the guys intentionally and stuff and looking for contact, the league stopped that, man. So again, any way you can get to the free throw line, the more aggressive person is going to get to the free throw line. When you're aggressive and attacking that basket, you're going to get the calls most of the time, even though you disagree with the call. And how soft this NBA is right now, knowing guys like Jimmy Butler keep being aggressive and guys like Joel Embiid, guys like Luka, Steph Curry, and all these superstar type guys and LeBron James, the more they be aggressive, the more, even though it's a bullshit call, they're gonna get the call. The aggressive gets the call the most. So again, get to the free throw line any way you can. And I'm not mad at them, man. You just gotta do what you gotta do. And just like James Harden. Again, he used to get his fouls by leaning into guys, just running into guys and stuff like that. Now his points and production drop because he's not getting those same calls no more. The rules have changed, and now he's got to play a little different. He's got to play a little differently. So the more and more you keep being aggressive, the more you're gonna keep getting those calls. And even though the calls, are ticky tack, you're just doing that by being aggressive.
Hey, what up, Jeff? Thank you for joining.
Hey,
Absolutely.
Jeff.
And,
Make sure you guys go sub up to all these great content creators on screen as well. We got CJ talking sports. He never promotes himself, so we got to promote him. So make sure you go to his channel. You click that sub button. You click that notify bell, and you get notified. As long as Nas, Coach Dante, this guy works so hard. I mean, like, this guy's on constant calling any single sport in the world. This guy's always grinding. So you go and you sub up to Coach Dante. You go and you sub up to Raphael. That always keeps it real. And Namir is about to start a channel. So when Namir starts the channel, make sure you guys sub up to him as well.
Previewing game 3 and a recap of the first 2 games of the Warriors Maverick series.
Oh.
What did Jeff say? What up, Zion? What's up, Jeff? Let's get it.
What's up, Jeff?
What's going on? What's going on, y'all?
What up, Jeff?
On Sunday at 5:30 on Max channel, if I'm correct. But it is on Max channels on Sunday, so make sure you guys go. Premium takes there.
Yep. And with that being said, just switch. I'm sorry. Who? 1 sec. My mic's cut now. I can't hear anything.
You good?
What's up, Dante?
What's good, my guy? How you doing?
What's going on?
Megan's fixing his setup right now.
You remember that though?
Okay, so
take the mic, Raphael. Go right ahead.
Okay, so before I leave right now,
You're leaving.
Just let me speak. Just let me speak because I'm calm, because I'm very easy. I'm just calm. Okay, so I'll be easy right there. Yeah, because there's a lot of things I had to go to. Well, there's a lot of things.
I was joking, bro. It's my humor.
Yeah, I know, but for right now, it smells that well. I got my predictions for the finals. It's gonna be Miami Heat versus Dallas Mavericks.
I love you, Jeff, but fuck you at the same time.
Oh my god!
Don't like it at all, Jeff. I don't like it. Cry face.
Wait, what were we talking about?
About my prediction of the NBA Finals. I got my prediction right here. So it's gonna be Heat versus Mavericks. The return, because it was 10 years ago. Dallas Mavericks against Miami.
10 years ago when Doug Nowitzki won it. Yes,
it was incredible. But I would love to see like a revenge just between the Dallas Mavericks versus Miami Heat. But I was gonna say about it, so they can call me crazy, but the NBA Finals is gonna be Dallas Mavericks versus Miami Heat. I'll tell you that. And well, Yes. But I just wanted to say congrats to all these content creators right here. I know I have a short time.
You're good, Raphael. I was just busting your bubble, bro.
Yes, but I just wanted to say congratulations on your show. Keep up the good work right here. And of course, I just wanted to salute to everybody else. Nas, my man Coach Dante, CJ Talk Sports, Science Seeing It with the good comments about sports that I love that. And of course, last but not least, Logan.
Absolutely.
And of course,
Raphael, we always appreciate you calling in, man. You're nothing but positive energy. I want you to keep on being you. Don't change for anybody, bro. And keep on doing what you're doing, man. You're killing it.
Exactly. And I just wanted to say I just saying one more thing. El Capitan Raphael has always supported you. And Logan, I just saw you that, well, you pronounce very good. El Capitan Raphael is here. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So have a good one, gentlemen.
Hey, you too, bro. Thank you so much for calling.
Maybe Logan should be like initiated, teaching because I'm going to teach Logan about Spanish class. So
like
in the future,
I want to offer you a special. I want to get you on 30-minute sessions, Raphael, and we can break down your Carolina Panthers.
Okay. So, right, yes.
You, and I got your number too, so I'll hit you up and we get something popping.
Okay, got it. Salute you guys.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks, Raphael.
Yeah, Zion goes around town asking a lot of men for 30-minute sessions. With that being said, Robert Quinn reportedly wants out of Chicago. What's your guys' thoughts?
I mean, like, who wouldn't want out of Chicago?
Hey, Logan, time for us, Logan, if this is true and this happens, it's time for us to change our number one draft pick status. Originally, I was all in on the Falcons getting the number one pick. I was all in on maybe even Jacksonville having 3 consecutive number one picks. If this is true, but the first pick of the NFL draft, the Chicago Bears select Jackson Freak.
Jackson Dory, is that it?
Yes, the wide receiver Ohio State.
Jackson
Yeah, Keyshawn Johnson, huh?
They don't need.
I think we should get Robert Quinn.
And my personal
real fast, Logan, I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but make sure you show the chat's comments because they're just as much as the stream as us. Go ahead, though.
With that being said, what was I going to say? I think if the Bears get the number 1 overall pick next year, they're going to take Will Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff, my man.
Yeah.
But CJ, continue.
I mean, Chicago. I'm just going to say, Chicago is a dumpster fire.
Yeah,
they're truly pathetic, in all senses of it.
Oh, I like that.
And the Bears, are they trying to pull another Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones type of situation where you draft a promising young quarterback and then you just butcher him before his rookie contract is up? What the hell are you doing, Chicago? You fire Matt Nagy.
Matt Nagy didn't get a solid chance. I don't care what anybody says.
He didn't. You fire Matt Nagy.
Sam, what are you doing? Aren't you a host on the channel? Why are you in the comments?
Yeah, get in the bruh.
You fire Matt. Matt.
No. I'm sorry.
There goes Nas defending his friend. We don't want to hear it.
No. He's on a trip right now.
Oh, he's on a business trip. Oh, he's doing some business, huh?
Not a business trip.
Okay. He's on a business trip. We'll just go with that. He's on a business.
He's in the car right now, so he can't basically. He's in the car.
Anyway, you fire Matt Nagy after some decent success with Justin Fields, who barely got a chance to play. He loses his number one receiver. You have the worst. You have one of the worst. You have one of the worst trades in modern NFL history with Khalil Mack. You have a bad online.
I'm not Logan, you fucking idiot. I'm sorry.
You have a bad online, a defensive. You have a bad online, a defensive-minded head coach in a division that just got routinely better in the Lions and Minnesota. And now you're thinking about trading away your best pass rusher for draft picks. Listen, I'm all for tearing the ship down and restart from scratch. But wasn't the whole point of drafting Justin Fields a year ago was so that you can speed up the rebuilding process and look to compete for a Super Bowl, not backwards? Like, Chicago, what the hell are you doing? Thank you for Evan Neal, by the way, but I'm sure you could have used a franchise offensive tackle, but Chicago is the epitome of a hot mess. Like, I don't know why. Like, I don't know why I'm seeing all these Bears fans thinking that they're going to make a run at the playoffs. I'm like, what? Have you guys seen your wide receiving core right now?
I think the best receiver is Mooney.
It's the small bag of Pringles as well as Darnell Mooney, for crying out loud.
Small bag of Pringles.
It's small bag of Pringles and Darnell Mooney. You got Tariq Cohen, who unfortunately popped. You have Tariq Cohen, who unfortunately popped his Achilles. You have. Let me paint this picture for you guys. You have a young quarterback who's coming off of a subpar rookie year. You fire your offensive-minded head coach for an old school level defensive coach. You have an agent offensive line, a mediocre defense, and no number one receiver. What does that sound like?
The New York Giants.
It sounds like Daniel Jones his second year. Like, so, Chicago, what the hell are you guys doing? The only saving grace for our sake that year was that we were in a bad division. Like, the Lions are going to be better than what they were last year. Minnesota is going to be better, and we all know Aaron Rodgers still owns the Chicago Bears. I think we just found our top candidate for the number one pick of the draft. One good thing is they won't have to take a quarterback. They could go edge rusher or wide receiver.
Let me ask you this: do you want to lock it in that Chicago's picking number one?
Top five. I'll lock that in.
Lock it in.
Top five. I'll lock that in. I can't find 5 worst teams. Even Jacksonville has decent talent.
Jeff says because he doesn't have the talent around him to be fully successful. Absolutely. Yep. It's Montgomery and Mooney. Absolutely.
Yep. Ty Montgomery at this point is the number one receiver and number one running back. That's not good for a second-year quarterback.
Yo.
Let's pick at Nas's brain again. So let's pull up Will's last comment and let's pick at Nas's brain for a bit. Nas, as a Ravens fan, I believe you as Ravens fans for the past decade. How do you feel about longer? What do you feel about Wink Martindale, and what do you think he'll bring to Giants defense?
Don Wink Martindale. When you think about him, you think about him as one of the best defensive coordinators in the National Football League. And when I say that, like, he brings the most pressure as a coordinator. Like, in some cases he's gonna make a mid blitz. I think they call it zero. It's a zero blitz, so which means is there's no safety and everything. Yeah. It's an all flat out 7-man at the line of scrimmage. And it's like everybody's in man coverage. So basically, you have to hit like some kind of play, hit some kind of play to be able to beat that coverage or whatever. So
what do you, Jeff?
go back to your question. What do I think he's going to bring to the Giants? Well, let's think about it. Let's think about. We're not talking about your interior linemen, right? Y'all have Azeez Ojulari.
Right.
Y'all have Kayvon Thibodeau. I'm sorry.
I don't really know.
You have all these guys.
Dexy, Leonard Williams, a bunch of guys.
Right. So, which my thing is this: your front four is automatically amazing. You get at least two men on that line. That's going to be even more dangerous. Now, I don't know how y'all secondary is after losing Bradbury. I really hated that move.
Yeah.
But
We're not looking so good.
Saving money is more important, stuff like that, than anything, than having some players that that you really just not liking, or some really not feeling or whatever. So my thing is y'all trying to save money at the end of the day. I get that, and open up cap space. So I don't know how y'all secondary is now. Y'all lost Logan Ryan. You lost. I think y'all lost somebody else, if I'm not mistaken. But y'all still have y'all still have a good passing defense a little bit. So, as long as y'all do that, and as long as y'all pressure just gets to the quarterback, I think he's gonna bring in a good amount of pressure to quarterbacks. So I think that's from a standpoint of how he used to play with us. And a couple of times in the season we was the number one defense before. So, y'all should have a great season with him.
A follow-up question to that is Jeff in the chat asked, if you could just break down what do you think for the Texans, and also what do you think the outcome is going to be for the Eagles? And after you answer that, I want Namir to say some few words, because Namir has been silent like a ninja the whole time. So go ahead, Dante. Texans schedule, what you think they're going to amount, or what do you think the Texans are going to do this year? And you can follow it up with the Eagles, Nas.
Like I say again, I think we're gonna be. I think we're gonna be better when people expect it. I like our draft coming up this year that we did. We had an excellent draft. I got 5, day one starters upon this team that's gonna start day one. That's gonna immediately come out and start. We got Derek Stingley Jr. locked in for QB for cornerback 1. We got Petrie is going to be the starting safety. He can play in the box. He can play also guard cover tight ends, and you got Stingley out there on those number 1 wideouts. You don't have AJ Brown in the division, so he pretty much can shut down any receiver that you can put in front of. Now, granted, he's still got some good receivers that he's going to go up against outside of the division. He still got Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, and those guys. He got to line up. He still got to line up against Devontae Adams throughout the season. So he still got some good wide receivers he got to go up against and stuff like that. Christian Harris is going to be on side of Christian Kirksey. Day one, I really like him. 4.4 speed, can tackle, can cover a little bit, can also rush the passer as well. And John Mechie, who would have been a first round pick as well if he wouldn't have tore his ACL up. So I like the future of this team. I'm excited. I think we're going to be better than what people thinking. I don't think we're going to be pushovers at all. I think we're going to play hard. We did that throughout the last season. Our record was 4-12, but the team that you saw at the last 4 games of the season didn't look like a 4-12 team.
Yeah, I mean, like, you guys look like a legit team, and you guys would have smashed the Giants last year if he was to play you guys in the last 4 games.
Yep. And like I say, man, I'm just excited to go out there and see this football team. I really think that we're gonna be better than what every other guys think. So I want people to say, I'm not worried about Davis Mills. I want people to do that. I want people to say that. I want people to say we're not worrying about, we're not worrying about the Houston Texans and knowing we're gonna come out there and play hard.
I'm not trying to be a dick, Nas, Dante, but that's exactly what I said with Logan. I'm like, why didn't they take a quarterback? Do they believe in Stills? And Logan's all like, well, Stills did have some kind of higher passer rating last year or something like that. So
yeah,
also sorry to cut you off.
I mean, like,
hold on.
Again.
Sorry to cut you off, but Why
Go
didn't
ahead.
Houston take a quarterback? Because there wasn't one worth picking.
Well, obviously,
in
yeah,
that
you don't want to reach obviously when it's not reached for. But I just think that
And
on the
also,
outside,
Stills was the best rookie QB.
yeah, on the outside looking in, I just wasn't a fan of Stills, and
David
after that
Mills.
conversation with a few people, and Logan included in that conversation as well, you know, I didn't change my mindset on Stills. I think he has a lot to prove, but I mean, like, if you're comfortable with him, why force one? Exactly what CJ said. Why force a quarterback there? You know what I'm saying? And we all know that next year is gonna be a way better draft class, and who knows? Stills could cement himself as the starter going forward.
Yeah, like I said again, I want people to think not worry about Davis Mills. I want people to think that way. Because again, like Logan said, he was the best rookie quarterback last year. Matt Jones statistically was stats wise.
Davis Mills, my bad.
Because again, he ended up at a better system. Ended up his running game was eighth in the National Football, was sixth in the National Football League. They had the sixth best rushing attack. They had the best defense in the National Football League at 17 points per game. So he was put in a great spot. He was drafted in a great spot. And also he had way better statistically. The Texans was the worst team last year. Statistically, worst receiving
worst team every year, bro.
Worst roster. And like I say, I love when people think that way. So again, I want people to keep that energy, and I'm glad. But I think we're going to be better, and I think Davis Mills got a lot to prove. But it's up to him. He's got to go out there on the field and prove it. I can speak for him, but he's got to go out there on the field and prove it, or we will see a quarterback being drafted. But right now, I'm comfortable with Davis Mills, knowing this rookie class. If he came out this year, he would have probably been the best quarterback to come out this year. Prior the way he played last year. So again, I'm proud of Davis Mills the way he played, and I hope he can keep up the success from last year.
Well, see, here's the thing. I have Houston's schedule written right in front of me. Here's what I will say. The good news. Well, there's two good news and a bad news.
Okay.
The two good news is that you guys are literally playing the two worst divisions in all of football. You're playing our division and you're playing your division. So that's always a good start. I could see 3 or 4 wins just playing the AFC South and the NFC East to start with. So you're off to a good start there. I like the draft that you guys have. Selecting Derek Stingley that high definitely surprised me. Kenyon Green was a solid pick in the second round. I did not think he would fall as far. I did not think he would fall as far as he wound up did, and so I like that. I like the direction that you guys are headed in. I do think right now, you guys easily have the first or second. You guys easily have the second best quarterback in your division. By a good amount. I mean, Matt Ryan is old.
That's facts.
Ryan Tannehill is Ryan Tannehill, and Trevor Lawrence hasn't proven anything yet. But also the downside of your schedule is that you're also facing probably the toughest division in NFL history, the AFC West. That means you got to get Kansas City, the Raiders, the Chargers. When Derek Carr is the worst quarterback of that division, that is a lot. That is a big problem. But also you get Chicago. You get Miami. Miami that I don't think is all that good either. And so I could see you guys winning anywhere between 5 and maybe 8 games if Davis Mills takes a significant step up. But you guys are on the right path. Listen, the Deshaun Watson thing, you hate to see it happen, but at least it gave you guys a great shot at resetting your entire franchise. Now, do I think Lovie Smith and Davis Mills are the long-term answers for you guys? No. But Lovie Smith is good enough to hold the water for now, and Davis Mills was surprisingly good. I mean, hell, we almost hired your offensive coordinator, Pep Hamilton, after the work that we saw him do. So, Houston, are you guys going to be really good now? Probably not. I mean, this schedule did not do you guys any favors, but in the long haul, I give you guys a solid 2 years, 2 to 3 years to really compete. And again, depending on what Davis Mills does. And listen, I said right when the season ended, Houston is going to be a dangerous team to look after within the next couple of years. Because again, Davis Mills was solid. You got some decent building blocks on the defensive side of the ball. And listen, Davis Mills was pretty good behind a bad line. You now pair him with Larry McCunsell, who's a star tackle, Kenyon Green, one of the best interior linemen to come out in the last few years. And I like the kid that you guys drafted in, Tyrus Howard. And so you guys as long as the O-line can protect Davis Mills and the defense isn't historically awful, I can see you guys winning about 5 or 6 games and continue to rebuild.
If Davis Mills, if anything better than last year, I think we can win 7 games because that's the overall record of my prediction. 7 and 10 was my overall prediction. Because if Davis Mills is any better than what he is last year, he already saw all the different coverages they threw at him, and he was able to do good, very good. Now the Patriots was number 1 on defense, right? And Davis Mills was picking them apart in that football game. Davis Mills was lighting them up, and the defense just gave away that game. But again, I know we play the NFC East, but again, we also can lose to every team in that division. So I don't go into every week, underestimate none of my opponents. I respect all of the opponents that we're going up against. I respect every fan base that we're going up against. So I know the NFC East is kind of weak, but I don't go in, disrespecting the opponents. I think the Texans can also, if everything break wrong, I think they can also lose to every team in that division. So that's just the way, I kind of take it and stuff like that, regardless how bad the team is. If you're not on your P's and Q's, you can lose to that team. So again, NFC East may be weak, but I don't go into no weak underestimating any football team in that conference. I got respect for every NFC East fan base and every fan base that we're going up against. So I take everybody seriously.
I do like that, and I know we need to move on to the next question. I'll let CJ go out after me, but I do like that. And one thing I have to say, Dante, is it's the NFL, right? So any team can be any team at any given day. But I do want to say the Lions, Jacksonville, and Houston. I think those teams are in the right direction, and I think in the next couple of years, we have to stop looking at the Houston. I mean, obviously, if David Mills lives up to his expectations, that he doesn't really have any expectations, but if he lives up to a quarterback that he can manage the game and he can be something of himself, you look at the Lions roster, the Lions got something going. You look at the Jacksonville roster, they got something going. I think a lot of the NFL has to stop looking at the Texans, the Lions, and the Jaguars are being bottom of the litter teams when in the next couple of years, any one of those teams, maybe not so much the Texans. I'm not trying to be rude to you, Dante. I'm just being realistic. But
you're talking football, man. You're talking football.
See them competing for the playoffs in the Jacksonville and Lions. And in about 2 to 3 years, who knows? The Texans could be competing for the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're in the division to do it, so
you're in the white. Yeah,
I mean, I don't
white division to do it. You're going forward. You're not taking.
You
steps
guys ran the AFC West. This would be
I want to tell everybody this.
The West.
I want to tell every fan
before
base
you go,
this.
guys. I just want to say this too. Before you go, a lot of people looked at Deshaun Watson leaving as a nag. But if you look at what you guys are building around an organization standard, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'll be pretty happy if I was a Texans fan. And I'll let you continue.
No, I am happy. I'm happy. I'm seeing the same things that you guys thinking. But like, I don't want nobody to think they're being rude to me or nobody to say, I'm sorry, Dante, we're going to beat your team or we're going to do that. It's football talking. It's your opinion. And like I said, I want people to think that we're not that good. I want people to think, I love on estimation because, you know, that's what this team is going to thrive up under, and that's what's going to make this team better. So to order to gain respect, you got to go out there and get the respect, and that's what the Texans got to do. I can talk about how good they're going to be for the last couple of years, but they got to go out there and they got to show it. And it's up to Nick Caserio to keep building this team together and making these players, keep having these players to come in. Right now, they're doing a good job of picking up the pieces that Bill O'Brien had left and crumbled up. So again, it's just football talk, man. I don't get upset about that. It's just football talk. And like I said, I want people to think the Texans not gonna be that really good. And I want people not to be sold on none of the players that we got, because you know there's up to them to prove it at the same time and go out there on the field and make some progress at the same time.
I love it. Let's turn it over to Molly, our moderator for tonight, and then I want Namir to answer this question first. So Molly, what is the question?
First off, don't call me that. Second off, thoughts on Deshaun Watson's potential 8 to 17 game suspension based off new claims made against him?
Hit it off, Namir. This is your subject.
It's my subject. Okay.
Well, it's not your subject, but I want you to contribute to the show too. You'd be like a silent ninja.
No,
Well said,
I
Dante.
get you.
Absolutely. That was well said. I didn't want to miss that. That was really beautiful what you said, Dante.
Yeah, I think 8 to 17 games. That's like really cool. Like I think that's probably what is needed.
That's cool that he's going to be suspended for
No,
18
I didn't
games.
say. No, I feel not cool, but like 8 to 17 games. Who do they have as the backup
18 to
quarterback?
17 games. That's pretty cool.
They have Baker Mayfield still.
Okay.
I
don't know if Baker will work out. That's a question. If they still have Baker Mayfield, I don't know if Deshaun should have been suspended for 8 to 17 games. Because if they still have Baker, why?
Hey man.
Because he Logan actually broke the news to me, so I'll let him bring it up. What happened with Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, so basically, I'm not going to go too much into detail because it's disgusting and I'm not trying to do that on stream. Basically, he was accused of something. They found text evidence of him responding to it, basically apologizing for what happened. And the league is looking into it and doing further evaluations, and it looked like he's probably going to be suspended for at least 8 games.
Makes sense.
So he was suspended for 9, and now it looks like he's going to suspended for more. So that being said, bro, I mean, like, I have Deshaun Watson rated as the top 5 quarterbacks in the league when he's playing. And as much as I don't want to sit up here and praise someone that does anything wrongful, I just think that he's a phenomenal football player, and I think that he will turn that Browns organization around, but not this year.
Yep.
Yeah, and what about you, CJ? You have any thoughts on this?
Why has Baker not been moved?
That's the same question.
Because Bill Cosby's their starting quarterback.
This is why. Listen, Cleveland, they're smart. Baker, be smart and see the writing on the wall. 2 things.
That's
Number
the second
one.
time you said that. You love that song, huh?
I don't.
Don't let me distract you. I'm sorry. I do that a lot.
Song.
One more time, and your kick Zion.
But again, you want again. This is why Houston. I mean, excuse me. This is why Cleveland was driving a hard bargain to get rid of Baker. If they wanted to move on from Baker, they would have been done so. The reason why they continue to hold on to him is because of this scenario. We all knew as soon as Watson didn't have to face any more legal trouble, that it was only going to be a matter of time before the Cleveland Browns found out that Watson was going to be suspended for a long time, for a good length of time, whether it be 6 weeks, 8 weeks, it could be a whole year before we see Deshaun Watson again. Listen, I don't want to get into the whole legal stuff issue again. It's done. It's in the past. I just want to see Deshaun Watson on the field. Having said all that, Cleveland. This is why Baker hasn't been. This is why Baker hasn't been moved, and this is why I don't think the Browns in year one are going to be all that cracked up to be. Because this Deshaun Watson thing, it's not even though it's terminology over, it's still not over by a long shot. And this is exactly why. I feel bad for all parties. I feel bad for all parties involved. I understand why Cleveland decided to make this drastic of a move. Listen, Cleveland saw the same thing that Denver saw coming into the offseason. We are trying to compete for a Super Bowl. We have a ready-made roster that's good enough to compete for a Super Bowl. And if you're going to do so, you need a bona fide top 10 quarterback, no matter what the price is, no matter what the stock, no matter how high or how low the stock is. You need a bona fide top 10 quarterback if you're going to compete for a Super Bowl. And
I think that comments are just towards you, Logan.
Yeah.
And now unfortunately, you're gonna have to pay the price for it. If I'm Cleveland, I am going, no pun intended, I am going to bake this as long as I possibly can. And Baker should do the exact same thing. Why go to a pathetic team like the Panthers or Seattle or Atlanta, where you could do the Jimmy Garoppolo route? Tom Brady got suspended for 4 weeks. Jimmy Garoppolo played great. He landed a nice gig with the 49ers. Rich man, Baker, be smart. You have a great gig with the Cleveland Browns, and you know they're going to suspend, and you know Deshaun Watson is going to get suspended at some point for a good length of time. Get healthy, come back, play your ass off, and by next year at this time, you may be looking at a long-term deal with your next ball club.
Or you could be looking at a bench seat.
Yeah.
Or if he plays terrible.
You know what my problem is, CJ? My problem is Baker. You have the best offensive line in the league, arguably, and you still can't get it done.
Well, he was hurt last year.
Well, I get it, but it's not like he didn't have a good offensive line.
But he literally had a torn labrum.
Yeah, but we seen it time after time. I mean, like, there's one thing to critique Daniel Jones because he did not have a roster, and I'm not out here making excuses for the guy, but Baker Mayfield had a roster every single
Zon,
time.
I have a question for you.
In the league.
Zon, I have a question. Logically, do you think you can throw a football accurately with a torn rotator cuff?
No, obviously not. But I'm not talking about like we've seen Baker Mayfield, obviously on the Browns, and maybe the first year they wasn't put together, but the year after that, the Browns had a contender every single season, and why?
Hey, Zion, I don't mean to cut y'all off, but let me just bring this up. Nobody knows the Browns like I do because we played them more times than I.
That's a good point. They're in your division.
And I watched a lot, and I watch a lot of the Browns games. But we gotta think, people. We gotta think. Josh Allen's not going nowhere. Patrick Mahomes is not going nowhere. Hell, even Joe Burrow, who just came in the league, is not going nowhere.
Yep, Lamar Jackson's not going anywhere.
Even though Baker Mayfield is 2-0 against Joe Burrow, let me point that out because Joe Burrow's never beaten him. So, but you know, after coming off a Super Bowl, you got him. I'm sorry about that. Joe Burrow, even my quarterback Lamar. You got so many of these quarterbacks in AFC. So I'm not making excuses for him, but he is in a hard conference, so it's hard for him to move, which I think he should.
It doesn't matter if he's in a hard conference or not. Don't use that excuse against him, Nas. I mean, like, you had a contending team. Josh Allen had a contending team. He rose to the occasion.
Yeah, I know.
Joe Burrow had a contending team. he
Baker
rose to the
Mayfield, Baker
occasion.
Mayfield is considered the weak link of the team, though.
He is the weak link of the team because you
But-
put Matt. I mean, like as much as I hate Matt Ryan, you put Matt Ryan on that damn team, they would have accomplished something.
Mm,
I agree. I agree with.
he wouldn't have been first.
Hey,
in the
I'm
division.
I
like
look at Baker
again
Mayfield in a whole nother.
He wouldn't have won the
atmosphere.
division.
at the same
He
time.
wouldn't have won the division, but
At
he
the
might
same
have
time,
accomplished
the man was hurt, but he's out there on the field at the same time,
something.
and he's been hurt since week 2 because I remember that the Texans tore his labrum week 2 when they was hitting him and stuff. But he's out there on the field playing hurt at the same time. So like again, if you're
But so
out there
is
playing,
95%
you
of the
have
NFL,
if you're
Donovan.
out there playing, it's no excuses if you're out there playing and not getting the
Absolutely. I
job
love
done.
that
It's
point.
no
Sorry to
excuse. You
interrupt.
can't make excuses for the guy at all. If he's out there playing, it's a difference when you're hurt and when you're injured. He in his mind, he's injured. So he's well enough to go out there. So I don't want to make no excuses for a guy that's out there playing with a torn labrum. He knows his shoulder's hurt, and he knows they weren't contended for a playoff spot. Why not rest your shoulder and heal your shoulder and let Case Keenum? By the way, who beat the undefeated Denver Broncos in Denver, who beat the undefeated Denver Broncos. So I'm not buying that excuse. If you're out there playing and you have a total rotated cuff, then hey, you're just saying I'm just injured. I'm not out there. I'm not hurting. So, and he was able to play in a close playoff game against the Kansas City Chiefs the year prior to that. So
yeah,
I mean, he was able to be pretty good. He was able to have success. I mean, but again, at the same time, I see both sides of it. You do got Josh Allen, you do got Joe Burrow. It's gonna be hard to win, but at the same time, as a quarterback, you're gonna get most of the heat. If you're not winning, you're gonna get most of the heat. If
that's absolutely facts, and that's why I give him most of the heat because Slay's comment was like kick Zion. But honestly, guys, you guys sitting up here and ranking Baker Mayfield in the top 25 quarterbacks for real?
25, yeah, not 20.
Like I look at him as a
CJ,
quarterback.
you're muted.
As a quarterback,
He's
like
in that 15. He's in that
almost to a
15 to
point
20
where-
range.
I will say in the Steelers case, I will take him over Trubisky, but that's just my opinion.
Absolutely.
not.
But there's 32 teams in this league. Could you
He's
name
in that 15.
7 quarterbacks better than names? Like I mean, like really, like I put him at the lower half of the league in quarterbacking. I'm not trying to diss Baker Mayfield, but the same way I look at Mitchell Trubisky, I'm looking at Baker Mayfield. It's like, yo, boy, you have a fucking roster. Get it done.
I don't listen.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Listen,
if you give Daniel Jones, as much as I hate on Daniel Jones, if you give Daniel Jones what Baker Mayfield has, this is one of the best offensive lines in the league for not only last season too.
Yeah, but
so if you think about it,
some of them offensive linemen had looked like J.C. Tretter. He's a free agent. So some of them are free agents now. Everything. So
I don't know, man. I'm just done of this babysitting quarterbacks. Like you can't play, get the fuck out.
He can
NFL. You have 32 teams for a reason.
He can play, but they wanted somebody like Deshaun Watson who can plug and play and everything.
With a roster
before and potentially should have been MVP a long time ago.
True.
I want you guys to answer this.
Okay.
What the fuck? The New York Jets will win more than the New York Giants.
I mean, like, I don't know, man.
True.
It could be tough.
I gotta look at the Jets schedule.
But I mean,
they're not
again,
beating us. The Jets are not beating us the first week though.
it's a reason why Cleveland got Deshaun Watson. It's a reason why Cleveland upped the quarterback situation as well. When you're not out there getting the job done, you're gonna bounce and get a quarterback.
Because let me rephrase that, Slay. Baker's team took him to the playoffs, not him. His team.
But I ain't gonna hold. He had a great season.
I like that Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take away from him. I'm not gonna say he was able to make some plays to get that team up there. So I'm not gonna just say the team. He's a quarterback. He's part of the team, but at the same time, most of that got to be on Baker Mayfield too. It's a reason why you get a good great quarterback like Watson as well.
Had a roster, guys. The Browns had a roster.
Wait, Zion. I think because you gotta think of this. Slay saying this because of his stats this year. He did so amazing. Like that was his best season of his career. Just like this whole besides breaking the rookie passing touchdown record, which I really don't care about. the year when he made the playoffs, when they won a playoff game within like what since 10 years.
Yeah, for a while.
So yeah, 11 years. So I give him credit for that because he had his best season of his career and everything. So yeah, right, 26. Right, yeah. Baker's the best free agent. He would have been the best free agent quarterback in free agency if you ask me. Better than Garoppolo.
But wait, pull up that comment back. He had 26 touchdowns for a fucking Super Bowl contending fucking team. You put Josh Allen on that team, he would have had 46 touchdowns. You put Aaron Rodgers on that team, he would have had 46 touchdowns. You put Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson on that team, they would have had 46 touchdowns. Don't give me this 26 average fucking touchdowns with a Super Bowl contending roster. Don't give me that.
I mean, they were a run-first team, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I see two sides of it, though, bro. I see two sides of it. I see two sides of it. I see two sides of it.
Yeah, that's what
I see both sides. I mean,
like
again,
the headband, by the way,
appreciate it. I see two sides of it. I see what Zion pointing. I see everybody else pointing. Again, if you got to go out and be desperate for a quarterback like Deshaun Watson, that means you're not too sold on your quarterback, and your quarterback is not being. You're saying your quarterback is holding us back. Just like the what did the Rams thought? They traded Jared Goff because they thought, hey, for us to win a Super Bowl, let's get a better quarterback. Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback. They trade him. Guess what? This year they win the Super Bowl. And what that say, Matthew Stafford was just on a bad team. He was just on a bad football team all of those years. So again, that's what Cleveland is saying, and that's why Baker Mayfield immediately acts out because, hey, the organization did not tell Baker Mayfield they was going for a quarterback, and Deshaun Watson also ruled them out on multiple occasions before taking that money and giving up those draft picks and going there. So again, I see two sides of both of those things. They are led by Nick Chubb and a solid running game, but also their receivers are not bad either. And the reason why Odell Beckham left because Baker Mayfield couldn't get him the ball. And what happened in Los Angeles? I
don't want to ask the panel this because I don't want to stay on this too much longer. But I want to ask the panel this because I'm not a fan of both quarterbacks. But if you ask me, would you rather have a Kirk Cousins or a Baker Mayfield?
Kirk Cousins any day of the week.
I'd rather have a Kirk Cousins. I'm taking Kirk Cousins. I know he can't win the big game, but he's by far the better quarterback.
On a Baker Mayfield, he did an outstanding job last year. I for one was surprised that he didn't get office. He wasn't in the voting for office.
Now think about it, guys. I'm not trying to be mean here, but you take Baker Mayfield, you put him on the Giants, you put him on the Jets. You put him on the Lions. You put him on Jacksonville. You put him on the Texans. What happens to Baker Mayfield? He's a fucking bench player. Stop.
And ladies and gentlemen, for our final segment of the night, Ryan, I'm going to put you on the spot because you've been annoying me all night.
Good. Michael Gallup.
What?
Michael Gallup. He said a sleeper. Wandell Moore out of Arizona. No one's thinking of him. Sleeper. It's too early in the season to give you guys full breakdowns, but there's two receivers in Wandell Moore and Michael Gallup who can give you decent numbers. You can get them later in the draft. You're not going to have to worry about them getting selected before round 9, maybe round 7. So I would say them guys. But it's too early, and we'll get back on this question.
For running back, how do you feel about Damian Harris or DeAndre Swift?
I mean, Harris out of the Patriots looked pretty good. And who's the other one?
DeAndre Swift, Detroit.
Swift. I mean, I think Swift is not going to be a sleeper. I think the people that really look at the numbers and crunch the numbers and fantasy players are going to take Swift pretty high because if you're playing him in a PPR league, he's going to catch a lot of balls out of the backfield. And I think Swift is going to be a top 10 running back this season, believe it or not.
Yeah, and final debate really quickly. Well, it's not really a debate. It's more just a question. Who would you take first, DeAndre Swift or Saquon Barkley?
Barkley, because I just have faith in Barkley, and he's going to have a pretty good season, so I'll take Barkley. As much as I want to take Swift, I can see Barkley going for 1,200 and about 400, 600 on the ground. On the receiving end. So I have Barkley with a really big season. That's if he stays healthy. We have never seen that Penn State running back run behind a legit O-line. Everybody talks about Chubb and credits due because Chubb's amazing, but you go give Barkley what Cleveland had over the past couple of years and see what Barkley would have accomplished. I just think Barkley is going to have a big season, and that could be biased as a Giants fan, but if he stays healthy and if our offensive line is somewhat mediocre, I can see Barkley having a big season.
Yep. And with that being said, guys, get your final shout outs for your channels, final takes in, because we're going to wrap this up. It's almost 1 a.m.
Yes. Always a pleasure. Gonna recap. Gonna do my preview for Game 3. Gonna do my preview for Game 3 tomorrow. Gonna recap the first 2 games. Gonna recap the first 2 games of the Warriors Dallas series. Logan, always a pleasure, fellas. Good night.
Go right ahead, Namir.
Being with you guys. Sorry I didn't contribute that much. I don't know why, but it was awesome being with you guys. I think I was gonna say one last thing. I think Daniel Jones is gonna have a breakout season, and I think Saquon's gonna be good, and I think we don't have Butterfingers anymore, so we're good. Jacksonville took Evan Ingram.
Yes, sir. Nas, Dante.
I'm gonna say, man, shout out to y'all for letting me on, man. Nice talking to y'all, man. Like I say, y'all don't gotta be afraid to hit me up on IG or Twitter at Coach Dante 31 if y'all want to collab or bring me on a future show. I'm one message away. I'm one DM away. I know I'm bigger than everybody, but like I say, I show love to everybody. I show love to the small YouTubers. I don't show love to the big time YouTubers. I'll show love to more of the small YouTubers and try to help out the small community and, be a mentor to everybody that's coming up. So again, don't be afraid to hit me up if y'all want to collab during the season or, during basketball games or, don't be afraid. Coach Dante 31 on Instagram, Coach Dante 31 also on Twitter. And thank you guys for bringing me on, man.
Yep. Nas?
Appreciate y'all having me on one more time. I appreciate Zion for his soliloquies throughout the night and everything, talking about the NBA, everything, breaking down. I know I wasn't here for him and I was handling some family situations, but you guys can follow me on Instagram at theboynas22 is I'll put it in the chat. But as we go on, Flock Productions, I'm starting my new YouTube channel. I think I will upload a video by tomorrow, I believe. So, yeah, that's everything.
Let's get it. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good night. Be on the lookout for the next episode next Friday in the 10:30 to 11 o'clock range. Peace, guys.